Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to another session of communication skills. Like you know, since yesterday we started a 4-hour session. So we did aptitude by Mr. Sunil in the morning, and I'm taking care of communication skills in the afternoon 3 to 5. In a day or two you will also have a session on technical skills. Those who are going for all these recruitment drives, job mailers, campus recruitment drives that is going to happen in your college. We will also have some questions during interview round. You will have questions on technical area, technical domain. In interview itself you will have technical questions. So keeping all this in mind, we wanted to include a technical training as well. Your college, your coordinator will be informed when are we going to do that. In a day or two you will also have another 2 hours. So when we include technical training, so it will be a total of 6 hours a day, and that will go on for like 3 to 4 days. I don't have the exact numbers, but you will be informed. So let's begin. Like every day, I want to begin with what this program is all about. AP State Skill Development Corporation, A.P.S.S.D.C, with the main intention of bringing graduates closer to the doorstep of corporates and making them successful employees. That is the intention. Now these graduates could be from the BSc stream, from the BCom stream, from the BA stream. The stream doesn't really matter. What matters is how well we can equip them, how well we can provide them the skill that is required to be an employee in some of these companies. For BCom and BA, we will have companies coming in. We don't have the names and the numbers or the schedule right now, but what we certainly know is we will definitely have some companies coming in. So please do attend these trainings, because they will also have a lot of focus on communication skill, the way you speak, your ability to listen and respond, your ability to write and respond questions in interviews, so on and so forth. Plus they will also have aptitude based selection criteria, and obviously they will have interviews. So keeping all this in mind, this is pretty much generic for all the graduates. That's why we want to ensure all of you get the same kind of training without any discrimination, without any change. What we are essentially doing here is we are going to show you the list of companies that is certainly coming. Now these are the companies. If may have the projection, yes, there you go. We have Capgemini, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, Infosys and A.P.S.S.D.C. Alongside you also get to see when the hiring is going to start. So Capgemini starts from 1st of November. Tech Mahindra starts this month itself, probably after the Shara holidays you will have all the drives getting started. We have Wipro, which is starting this month itself. Infosys and A.P.S.S.D.C, again we do not have the date, but obviously they are part of the drive, and all these companies are going to hire a lot of people. Last year also they did that, and the same continues this year as well. Apart from these 5 companies, we also have Virtusa, IBM, NTT Data, Computer Associates and CSC. These are also the companies which is going to come on board to hire freshers from the colleges and from the job mailers directly. We do not have, for these 5 companies, we do not have the dates as of now. Once we get the date or the tentative schedule, that will be obviously communicated to you. Now this is specific to BSc students. Now how do these companies hire? What is the selection process? If you look at it in a very generic scenario, they have a written assessment, interview, it could be a panel or one-on-one. There will be a jam session where you need to speak on a topic for 1 minute, and there would be group discussions. Written assessment, you will have aptitude, verbal ability, essay and comprehension. Aptitude, you're going through the training. Verbal ability, we will include that. Essay writing, how to write an effective essay with a proper structure. Comprehension is your understanding of a particular paragraph and responding to questions based on that paragraph. Then we have interview. It could be a panel interview where more than one person would be in the panel, or it could be one-on-one. I will conduct a specific training for interview as well. This particular training for interview will be extremely focused on right from the beginning how you should enter the room, how should you sit, how should you carry the file, what should you put on your resume. That will also I'll include as a part of the training. When they ask questions, tell me more about yourself, what should you say and what should be the flow that you should speak in. How should you behave, how should you conduct yourself, your body language aspect. All this will be included. Irrespective, regardless if it's one-on-one interview or if it's going to be a panel interview, doesn't really matter. But the philosophy will be pretty much the same. In interview, you will have technical round where the questions will be completely based on technical area. Plus, there will be general awareness which you are expected to know. Like yesterday, I was giving an example of Android apps or smartphone apps. What is the future of these apps? For example, 2 years ago or 1 year ago, if we are hungry, we would go to the restaurant and eat, or we would look for restaurants which does home delivery. But today, that landscape has changed. You have on your fingertip, on the phone, we have Swiggy, we have Fasos, we have Food Panda. We can just click which restaurant you want and these guys will come and deliver for 20 or 30 rupees extra. So sitting in home, you get these services catered to you. So technology is pretty much enabling this kind of services, this kind of facility. So you need to be aware as a technology student, you need to be aware what is going on in the world. Coming to HR round, here a person is assessed on the overall confidence level, the attitude level, your dedication, your loyalty to the company, how career oriented you are, what you want to achieve, how disciplined you are, what is your aspiration, what is your goal in life. These are the aspects they look at. So HR round, obviously I will help you with everything that you need to know. Then we have jam session. Jam session, like I said, you need to speak on a topic for 1 minute. How should you speak? How should you structure it? I will tell you. And group discussion, where the companies are ideally looking for people who have the confidence, who can initiate, who are good leaders as well as good team members. How can you gain more points in a GD? Why would you lose points in a GD? All these aspects will be covered. Okay. Now specific to companies, now what I showed you in the previous slide was generic, how companies conduct it. Now in this particular slide, if I may have the slide on the screen, there you go. Here I am talking about specific to companies, what is the selection process. So we have essay writing but no verbal ability for Capgemini. For Tech Mahindra, we again have essay writing and visual based essay, where you will be shown a picture and you would need to answer questions or write an essay on it. Wipro will have general English. Infosys will have reading comprehension, where you will have a passage, based on that you will need to answer questions. And Emphasis, they conduct Versant test, which checks your listening skills, your reading skills and your speaking skills. Now the Versant, I would urge you to do some homework on Versant. Go to google.com, type Versant and you will get more and more information on Versant. What we have seen historically, Capgemini written assessment is slightly challenging compared to any other written assessment. Emphasis again is little challenging. TCS, we don't have it listed here, but last year TCS did hire a lot of people where they have special focus on email writing skills. So I will conduct email writing training as well. As far as aptitude is concerned, all these companies will have aptitude. Verbal ability will be a part of general aptitude. Now imagine you go through this training, you get all the help and you get hired and you get your picture on the ID card. So once you get all the information, once you get all the requisite training, you get yourself prepared. The idea of this training is to prepare you, to make you skilled, to reach the expectation that the companies are looking for. All right. So this first segment of my training will be pretty much universal. I'm going to do this on daily basis so that all of you are aware what is going on. All right. Now let's move to the next whatever I'm going to conduct today. Just a moment, I'm just setting up my PowerPoint so that it's easier for you. Just give me a moment. All right, there you go. So yesterday we spoke about vocabulary, right? In vocabulary, what did we learn? We learned about your word bank. How many words do you know? How many words do you have in your bank which you can use based on the context? All right. So today we're going to look at certain more practice questions. I have prepared few more questions. Yes, we did have a lot of questions, but we could not complete it yesterday. So today we will look at these questions as a team. We will answer these questions and we will learn. All right. Now the focus will be mainly on the presentation. You don't have to look at me. Great. So question number 4 we finished. Let's look at question number 5. One who possesses many talents. A person who has more than one talent. What do you call that person? The options are versatile, nubile or nubile, exceptional and gifted. A person who is versatile. Versatile means the person can do a lot of stuff. Exceptional, nubile is definitely an odd one out. Exceptional means a person who cannot be an example. But a person who has many talents can be an example. Gifted means a person who hasn't learnt any skill, but his or she is very good at it. In this particular context, versatile is the most appropriate answer. Versatile means more than one field the person is very good at. That's why we have the word versatile, and that is a right answer for this person who possesses many talents. Moving to number 6. I will go slow so that you guys can take it down and practice. Number 6. A person interested in collecting, studying and selling old things. A person interested in collecting, studying and selling old things. Options are antiquarian, junk dealer, crank, archaeologist. I repeat, antiquarian, junk dealer, crank, archaeologist. Read the question again so that you understand. A person interested in collecting, studying and selling old things. What is the word for old? We have a word which is antique, right? So first option is antiquarian. Then you have the option junk dealer. You know what is a junk dealer? Junk dealer is a person who comes in your neighborhood, in your house. He buys all the newspapers, all broken plastic items from your house. That's a junk dealer because he buys it, then he sells it to the wholesaler. That's a junk dealer. Crank. Crank is an American term for people who buy cars and they sell it. They buy used cars and they sell these used cars or second-hand cars. It could be cars, it could be TV, it could be anything. That's a crank dealer. Archaeologist is a person who studies archaeology, monuments which were built in the history 400, 500 years ago. That's an archaeologist. So look at all these meaning and then think what is the correct answer. A person interested in collecting, studying and selling old things. Archaeologist is wrong because he is dealing with the study of monuments. Crank or crank dealer is wrong because he buys and sells used products. Junk dealer is a person who buys garbage or junks. For example, your washing machine stopped working, now you need to sell it at the rate of kilos, plastic or metal. That's a junk dealer. Antiquarian is the person who deals with antique things. Antique means old. All right. Number 7. A drawing on transparent paper. Any kind of drawing on transparent paper. The options are blueprint, red print, negative, transparency. A drawing on transparent paper. Blueprint, red print. Now red print is an odd one out. Negative also is an odd one out because negative is used in photography, film photography. So blueprint and transparency, these are the two options we have. Transparency can be a picture, alright. Transparency can be a picture which is put on a slide. That's why blueprint is the correct answer, because here we are talking about a drawing. Those who are in civil engineering or those who have learned a little bit of drawing and charts and stuff, you would know what is a blueprint. You basically draw that on a transparent paper, then you draw designs. So that's a blueprint. Number 8, a small shop that sells fashionable clothes, cosmetics, etc. All the girls in the classroom would know the answer. A small shop that sells fashionable clothes, cosmetics, etc. Store, stall, boutique, booth. Store is nothing but a shop. We call it a shop. In American English it's called a store. But in India we call a godown as a store, which means even if it's a godown or a shop, it's not a correct answer because it says a small shop. A stall is a temporary it's a temporary structure. For example, if you go for any exhibition, you will see a lot of stalls selling handicraft, food. So that's a stall. It's a temporary structure. Booth means a very small enclosure, like a telephone booth. That's a very, very small enclosure. Only one person can stand there. ATM booth, only one person is allowed. Then we are left with only one option, which is boutique. The pronunciation is boutique, boutique. It's not boutique. Don't say boutique, it's boutique. So boutique is the correct answer, which is a small shop which sells clothes and cosmetics. Moving to number 9, an object that is used to calculate distance. 90% of the students always got this answer incorrect. An object that is used to calculate distance. Please think and then answer. It's not that these questions will come in your aptitude test. This is just to check your knowledge. Alright. I repeat, an object that is used to calculate distance. Look at the option and think what these instruments do. Speedometer. It's not speedometer. Okay. We learned syllable stress. If you have meter, the anti-penultimate syllable will take the stress. It's speedometer, not speedometer. What does speedometer do? It shows you the speed. It doesn't show you the distance, it shows you the speed. Barometer, it's not barometer. Please don't pronounce that as barometer. Barometer is wrong. It's barometer. What do you use barometer for? For pressure, right? Pressure or rainfall, what is it? Even I am confused now, but it's definitely not the correct answer. Pressure. Thermometer. Thermometer checks temperature. So the correct answer is odometer. It's not odometer, it's odometer. If you have bikes that you use, some of these bikes like Pulsar and all that, it shows the distance, right? How many kilometers, 3000, 4000, any bike, car, it shows that. So that is what odometer is all about. It shows the distance. Some bikes also have, so you have 5-digit counter, below that you will also have a 3-digit counter that detects the trip. It's a trip meter which you can keep on resetting. For example, if you are going from point A to point B, you want to check what's the distance, you can use that. That is also a kind of odometer because it's telling you the distance, right? Let's look at the next question. So odometer is the correct answer, which gauges the distance. Question number 10. A disease of mind causing an uncontrollable desire to steal. What do you mean by steals? S-T-E-A-L. Here steal doesn't mean metal steel, that is S-T-E-E-L. This is S-T-E-A-L. A disease of mind causing an uncontrollable desire to steal. The options are schizophrenia, claustrophobia, kleptomania, megalomania. I will pause so that you can take this down. Can we have the slide, please? Yeah, thank you. The slide should be there so that the students can write the question and the answer. They can learn better. A disease of mind causing an uncontrollable desire to steal. The options are schizophrenia, claustrophobia, kleptomania, and megalomania. Now let's understand what these options mean. Schizophrenia is a disease of multiple personality disorder or split personality. If you remember, there was a movie by Vikram where he is a priest, then he becomes a bad guy, a monster who punishes people who are into corruption. I don't know the name of the movie, but I've seen it on TV a lot of times. So that person suffers from schizophrenia. There are more than 1, 2, 3, it could be 6 people whose behavior comes out. That's a schizophrenia, which means that's not the correct answer. Here we are talking about a disease where people steal stuff. They are thieves. They just, even though they have money, but still they choose to steal it. Number B is claustrophobia. Phobia means fear. Claustrophobia means the fear of being locked in a small enclosure. People who suffer with claustrophobia, it's pretty bad because they find it difficult to breathe. They think that they are going to die. People who suffer with claustrophobia, they usually don't take the lift. They always take the stairs because the lift is like a small box and they feel little scared. So in case if they are sitting in a small room and there are a lot of people, they feel the phobia, claustrophobia. Number D. D is megalomania. Megalomania basically means you're feeling that you are the best in the world. No matter who you are, what skills you have, you always think that you are the best, you are the biggest. That's megalomania. There are people who always think, for example, if they're sitting in a room, there's a group discussion happening, there will be one person who will think that I know everything. I know I have all the answer and I have the best knowledge in the room. They end up dominating people. That is what megalomania is all about, which means schizophrenia is wrong answer, claustrophobia is wrong answer, and megalomania is also a wrong answer. Then the correct answer is kleptomania. CLEPTOMANIA, kleptomania. Kleptomania is a mental disease. Kleptomania is usually you will find people who are wealthy, who have money. For example, there is a person who has money with him. He has say 10,000 rupees cash in his wallet. He goes to a store and there he finds a hard drive, very beautiful looking hard drive, external hard drive, which is worth 6,000 rupees. It's not that this person doesn't have money. He has the money, but he prefers to steal it from the shop. It's a mental disease. There are certain countries where kleptomania is considered as a disease, but there are certain countries where it's considered as a crime. If you go to certain countries in Europe, if you go to US, if you steal something from a shop, you can be put on jail. So if you can prove that you are going through a treatment from kleptomania, probably they will save you, but otherwise it's a crime, it's a bad thing. All right, so let's go back to the slide. Here you will see a word. You need to find out the similar word, synonym. Synonym means substitute word which will convey the same meaning or the closest same meaning. So we have the word which is hesitated, and we have 4 options. The options are stopped, paused, slowed, postponed. Read the word again: hesitated, stopped, paused, slowed, postponed. So what do you think is the correct answer? Stopped. Stopped means completely stopped. You are not doing it anymore. Slowed means whatever pace you are doing at, for example, you are riding a bike at 40 kilometers per hour, suddenly you see some cops and you don't have the paper, you just slow down, because if you increase the speed they will doubt that you don't have papers, so you just slow down. Postpone means you are not doing it. Stop means completely stop it. Postpone means you stop it but you will start it later, which you don't know. I have deliberately left one option, which is paused. Paused means you just stop for a while and start all over again. Hesitation basically means, for example, right now I am standing in front of you and I am speaking, and I want to talk about a particular example. I am thinking in my mind, should I say or not? I am little hesitating to do that, but after 2-3 seconds I do it, which means I paused and then I am talking. Hesitation basically means pausing. So paused is the correct answer or the closest correct answer. Number 12, neutral. The options are unbiased. It's not biased. Please don't pronounce it as bias. A lot of people say bias, dais. Please go stand on the dais. It's not dais, it's dais. Likewise, it's bias. So neutral, unbiased, non-aligned, undecided, indifferent. These are the options. Now let's look at the meaning of each one of these options. Unbiased means you are not showing favoritism to anyone. Basically you have to pick from 2-3 options. One option is the most favorite, but you are not using that favoritism here. That is unbiased. Non-aligned means you don't pick any one of them. You don't align yourself with any one of the choices. Undecided means you are not able to decide. You don't have any basis to decide or reach a decision. That is undecided, which means the verdict or the result is open. You still haven't decided. Indifferent means not showing any kind of emotions, not showing any kind of positive or even negative attitude. That is indifferent. So we have unbiased, non-aligned, undecided and indifferent. The question is neutral. Neutral basically means you are not being favoritism or not showing favoritism to anyone. That's why option A, unbiased, is the correct answer. Number 13, the word for which you need to find the suitable substitute is feeble. The options are weak, vain, arrogant, sick. Weak means not strong. Vain means putting effort but it's not of any help. All my efforts will go down, or all my efforts will be in vain if you don't practice what you are learning. Vain means putting an effort but it's of no use. Arrogant means rude. Sick means unwell or something you don't like. Feeble basically means which is not very strong. For example, while I was about to go home, or rather let me think of another example. Just as when I was about to go to sleep, I heard a feeble voice of a person. A weak voice or a feeble voice. Weak here means not very strong, not very loud. So feeble, the correct answer is weak. Number 14, restraint. What is the meaning of restraint? Let's look at the options. Option 1 is hindrance. Option 2 is repression. Option C is obstacle. Option D is restriction. So hindrance, repression, obstacle, restriction. Hindrance means roadblock. Obstacle means also roadblock. So hindrance and obstacle both are same. They are just two different words depending on the context. So hindrance and obstacle are incorrect. Repression. Repression means when you repress someone, when you don't encourage someone, when you demotivate someone, when you discourage someone, that is repression. We are left with only one option, and that is restriction. For example, we are not, the students are restricted from entering the room where all the exam papers are getting corrected. So there is a restraint order for the students barring them from entering the room where the papers are getting corrected. So restraint is nothing but to restrict. Alright. Obstacle means it will remain there forever, but restraint orders or restriction is there only for a certain period, right. So that's why restraint, the correct answer is restriction. I hope this is clear. I am moving to the next question, which is toil. It's not coil, it's toil, TOIL. The options are working hard, it's a kind of a coil, it means being lazy or being unwell. These are the options. Let's go backward. Being unwell means sick. Toil does not mean being sick or being unwell. Being lazy. So if you read the header, I missed telling you the header. Here you need to find the antonym. What do you mean by antonym? Antonym means opposite word. It's not similar word, it's opposite word. In the previous slide we were looking at synonym. Look at the header, we were looking at the synonym or similar words. Here we are looking at antonym, which is opposite word. Let me ask you this question. Can we have the board on the screen, please? We have a word which is common. Okay. So what do you think is the opposite word of common? I'll give you only two options to make it easy. Option 1 is uncommon. Option 2 is rare. So think and tell me what is the correct answer. Option 1, you need to find the opposite word. I will just write it here so that it's easy if you are watching a recorded session later. Okay, what is the opposite of common? Two options we have, one is uncommon and the second one is rare. Okay, think and tell me what is the correct answer. I can't hear what you're saying, but I want to make it as interactive as possible. If your answer is rare, because you must be thinking he is asking because there is a reason for it. If your answer is rare, congratulations, you are absolutely right. Opposite of common is rare. It's not uncommon. Common means you can find it everywhere. Rare means it's not easy to find it. That's the difference. Another word I will give you, this is a typical Indian way of speaking. The word is I hope this is visible. It's very clearly visible, right? Better than yesterday. Postpone. What is the opposite of postpone? I will give you the options. Option number 1 is advance. Option number 2 is prepone. So what is the opposite of postpone? Think and tell me. This is post, this is pre, right? We always think like that. So postpone, opposite will be prepone. Very good. If you have chosen prepone as your answer, very good. You have again given a wrong answer. The opposite of prepone is advance. I am postponing this For example, there is a meeting at 5 o'clock. I want to postpone it to 6 o'clock. You can't say opposite way that I want to prepone it to 4 o'clock. Prepone is Indian English, it's wrong. This word does not exist. So if the meeting is at 5 o'clock, you want to bring it to 4 o'clock, you need to say I want to advance it to 4 o'clock. I want to advance the time to 4 o'clock. You can't say I want to prepone it. Clear? So why do we make these mistakes? We make these mistakes because of the influence of local language. For example, I studied in Bangalore and I was supposed to meet my friends when I was in college, and I could not go. I just was not interested. Next day when they met me, they said, what, you didn't come, you gave hand. I was very confused. What do you mean by you gave hand, you didn't come? Because in Telugu or Kannada, in Tamil, that's how people speak, that you gave hand, you didn't come. But in English, it makes no sense at all. Alright. I was supposed to meet a colleague few years ago and I was late. He called me and he said, hey, it's 9 o'clock, where are you, where did you die? I was like, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? He said, where are you, where did you die? I said, I am alive, why do you say where did I die? And if I am already dead, I cannot answer your call, right? I am speaking to you. He's like, no, don't give me this English lecture. In Telugu, we usually say that Ekkada unnaru, and the next word Ekkada checharu something. I'm very, very bad in Telugu, so I don't know. But that's how people speak. They do a direct translation from a vernacular language to English and they expect that people will understand, wherein the fact is you cannot understand. So when we look at similar words or opposite words, this is a classic example, this is a really good example, where in India we say postpone, the opposite is prepone, that's what we say, but actually it's not prepone, it's advance. Alright, so let's go back to the slide, we will read these words all over again, we will understand what it means. So the question that we had on the slide is, what is the opposite of toil? T-O-I-L, toil. Opposite. Now in order to pick the opposite word, you need to know the meaning of the word, right? That's why I say you need to read more, understand more, learn new words. Toil basically means working hard. So this, if it's a synonym question, option A will be correct answer, but it's not a synonym question, it's an antonym question. So what is the opposite of working hard? That is option C, being lazy. So being lazy is the opposite of toil. Number 16, submissive. What do we mean by submissive? Submissive is a behavior where whatever the other person says, you accept and you do it. If I have submissive behavior, if somebody comes and says, please get me a cup of tea, I will actually go and get it. If I am down with fever, he says, please go get me food, I will actually do it because I have a submissive nature. I accept everything what others say. That is the meaning of submissive. Now understanding the meaning, pick what is the correct option here. Aggressive, passive, assertive, obstructive. Now let's understand the meaning of these words. Obstructive means where you do not allow somebody to do something, you keep on creating hurdles, you keep on creating problems, so that is obstructive behavior. Assertive behavior means it's a positive attitude in people. I will conduct a specific program on assertive behavior and how it can help you as a person and in your career. Assertive behavior basically means your ability to say no to a person without offending that person. In today's scenario, in a work atmosphere, you will find people who are very aggressive. An aggressive behavior can create a problem. An aggressive person can offend people and hurt people. So that's why we say you should not be aggressive. You should be aggressive in terms of your work, but in terms of your attitude towards others, never show aggression. So what do you mean by assertive? Assertive behavior is basically where we accept what other person is saying. At the same time, we also voice what we want to say. What is our point of view? its ability to say no to a person without offending that person. I will give you a quick example. What do we mean by submissive and what do we mean by assertive and aggressive? Okay. Say for example, you come and ask me for 100 rupees. Okay. So you say, sir, can you please give me 100 rupees? And I get really annoyed. Why are you asking for money? I hold your collar and I push you behind. I'm like, no, I will not give you money. Instead, you give me 500 rupees. That's an aggressive behavior. That's an aggression. Assertive behavior means I cannot give you the money. I have 100 rupees with me, but I don't want to give it to you because I don't know you, or I need the money. The reason could be anything. I say no to you. In an aggressive behavior, I say no by pushing you behind and by hurting you. Assertive behavior basically means I say, I'm sorry, I cannot give you the money because I need the money and I need to buy something for myself. I hope you understand. So where I am making the other person understand and why I am saying no to you, that's an assertive behavior. Now look at the question again. The question is, what is the opposite word of submissive? Can we have the slide? Yes. So submissive means where you accept whatever the other person says. The opposite of submissive is not assertive, it is aggressive. Submissive means you accept everything and aggressive means you oppose everything. So that is the correct answer. Aggressive is the correct answer. Here you need to I'm just ignore the heading here. I'm going, okay, I'm sorry. Just a moment. Okay, there you go. We have the slide back. Please ignore the heading on this particular slide. The heading is incorrect. Just read the question. Choose the word which best expresses the meaning of the word shallow. We have a word shallow. Choose the word that best expresses the meaning. Best expresses the meaning means synonyms, similar words. Choose the word which best expresses the meaning of the word shallow. Shallow in this particular context of these three options basically means artificial. Foolish means somebody who is not intelligent. Superficial means something which is artificial but different. Superficial means on the surface it's something but underneath it's something else. For example, a coconut. A coconut is very hard on the surface, right? Superficial means on the surface it's something different. Shallow in this particular context means something which is not very deep. The word shallow in this context is used in terms of judging a person's behavior. Artificial is the correct answer here. Number 18. Choose the word which best expresses the meaning of the word diversion or diversion. Diversion means distortion, that's the first option. Deviation is the second option. Obstructive or obstruction is the third option. What is the correct option? Correct answer here? Distortion means you are watching me on the TV or you're watching the slide on the screen right now. Imagine if the screen keeps moving up and down or there are some grains on the slide, that will be a distortion. Deviation means you are supposed to go straight but you are taking a right because there is a work going on by the road repair department. That's diversion and hence deviation is the correct answer. Number 19. Choose the word which best expresses the meaning of the word browse. Like you keep browsing the internet, basically what are you doing? Are you healing anything? No. Are you examining anything? No. You are checking. So check is the correct answer here. Browse means check. Number 20. Choose the word which best expresses the meaning of the word candid. People who do photography, they will know the meaning. Candid. Candid means immediately. Means explicit? No. Explicit basically means where you don't really think what you are speaking. There is a difference between explicit and frank. Frank means you are speaking your mind, but explicit can mean you are using bad words as well. So frank, open and explicit. We need to pick a synonym for the word candid. In this context, frank is the correct option. Alright, so candid means frank. Number 21. Choose the word which is exactly opposite of the word crowded. Crowded means a lot of people are there. We have three options: deserted, empty, quiet. Now quiet, I want you to pay attention to this particular word. The spelling is Q-U-I-E-T. There is another word so there are two words here. The first one is quiet, Q-U-I-E-T, quiet. I pronounce that as quiet. And the second one is quiet, Q-U-I-T-E, quiet. Lot of people make mistakes in terms of pronunciation as well as spelling and the usage as well, because they don't understand what is the difference. One big problem that I have come across in student community is the lack of knowledge in terms of spelling. Spelling has become a big problem in today's community, in today's generation. The problem is, you know why? The problem happens because this particular device called a cell phone or the computer, wherever you are watching it. When you are typing a word in Word document, if the spelling is incorrect, it shows a red underline. You right click and you find the right spelling. If you are typing on your cell phone, if the spelling is incorrect, it immediately tells you what is the correct spelling. What is essentially happening is, when we are writing something, we are not paying attention what is the correct spelling, and that's why we make mistakes. So this particular example of quiet and quiet, it shows the difference of spelling, difference in pronunciation and difference in the meaning. When the meaning is different, obviously the sentence will also change. Now let's understand what it means. Quite means few or some. It's quite possible that today's session will be watched by 30 to 40 colleges, which means it's quite possible, means it's the possibility is there, it's some. Quiet, here the pronunciation is quiet. Quiet means silence. That is what it means. Like in school our teachers used to say, right, keep quiet, right? So that quiet, Q-U-I-E-T, is silence. Q-U-I-T-E is different, okay? So that's the difference. Now let's have the question on the screen again. The question was, choose the word which is exactly opposite of the word crowd, right? Or sorry, crowded. Deserted means nobody is there. I went to the government office, I went to the electricity office to pay my bill and the counter was deserted, means nobody was there. That means I could pay my bill very quickly. So that is what deserted is. So opposite of crowded is deserted. It's not empty. Empty, the word empty is used for an object. Let me show you an example. I have this bottle on my hand, okay? If there is no water, I can use the word empty. The bottle is empty. But here I am talking about people. Crowded means there are a lot of people. When the people are not there, that means it's deserted. It's not empty. Alright, you can't even use the word vacant. The word vacant is used for a seat, it's used for a post. For example, vacancy. We don't say empty, right? Well, we learned quite a few words there. Let's go to the next question on the screen, please. Choose the word which is exactly opposite to the word flimsy. Flimsy. What is the opposite of flimsy? The options are meaningful, firm, filthy. F-I-L-T-H-Y, filthy. Filthy basically means dirty. Meaningful means sensible, something which makes sense. Firm means strong. So I use the word flimsy. Now what is the meaning of flimsy? Flimsy means something which is not very strong, which is very weak. For example, the company hired this person on flimsy background, or the company called for tenders, the government rejected the tenders on flimsy basis, which means it's not very clear. Firm means very strong, very clear. So opposite of flimsy is firm. Firm means strong, flimsy means not very clear. Meaningful is not the appropriate answer for this particular question, because the context will be different. Okay. All right, let's go back to the slides, please. Next question. Just a moment. Yes, there we have the next question. Choose the word which is exactly opposite to the word confess. What is the opposite of confess? The options are deny, refuse, contest. Okay, deny, refuse, contest. I am asking what is the opposite of confess. Confess means accepting. The thief confessed his crime to the police department. So you need to pick the opposite of confess. Opposite of confess is deny. Refuse is different. The word refuse is used in terms of giving something. He refused to give me water. He refused to give me money. Refuse, the word is used in terms of giving something. Deny is used in terms of accepting something or saying no to it. So deny is the correct answer here. Number 24. Choose the word which is exactly opposite to the word flimsy. I am so sorry, this question is repeated. So I'll go to the next slide. Here we are talking primarily on the factors that we covered already. So pillar, you see 4 pillars here. We covered pronunciation, grammar and vocabulary. Now we are moving to fluency. What do we mean by fluency? Fluency means the ability to speak or write a particular foreign language easily and accurately. Now what do we mean by foreign language? Here foreign language does not mean Spanish or German or Italian. Any language which is not your vernacular language is a foreign language. So the ability to speak or write a particular foreign language easily and accurately, that is what fluency is all about. Now as human beings, when we speak, we are also thinking, right? We have the information coming from our brain. Say for example, I go to a shop and I want to buy this particular object which is a duster. Okay, so I ask, excuse me, how much do you sell this duster for? And he says 5,000 rupees. Now this will not cost me more than 20 rupees, but he is charging me 5,000 rupees. This person can speak only in Telugu. I can speak 5 languages, but those 5 languages does not include Telugu. I can speak fluently in 5 languages, but I can hardly barely speak one proper sentence in Telugu. Now I want to have an argument with this guy that I cannot pay 5,000, this is not worth 5,000, it's only worth 20 rupees, so I will not pay you. What happens when he says he cannot, sir, no English, no Hindi, Telugu only please. Now I find it difficult to speak because I know only 4-5 words. These words is what I have heard from people around me. Yenduku, Anduke, Ikkada Kuchandi, Yemi Kavali, Bagunnara. These are the only words I know. Can I speak fluently? No. I need to think, how can I tell him that I cannot pay 5,000 for this object, it's only worth 20 rupees. So what do I say? No sir, 5,000 ledu, 20 rupees undi, 20 rupees value undi duster. Now how am I speaking? I am using 2-3 English words. My fluency is not good because I don't know how to speak well, because I have lack of words or lack of fluency, right? But it's a language which I don't know at all. If I use a language which I know very well, say Hindi or Bengali or Tamil or Kannada or English, I can speak instantaneously. For example, I will say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay you 5,000 rupees because this is not worth 5,000 rupees. This is only worth 20 rupees. If I go to the shop next door, I will buy for probably 18 rupees or 22 rupees. I'm not going to pay you 5,000 rupees. Either you are cheating me, or definitely there is a gold bar inside the duster. That's why you're charging me 5,000 rupees. Now, what just happened? My rate of speech went up. I'm speaking with so much confidence. 1 minute ago, the same thing I tried talking in Telugu, I could not. So what is happening? I am thinking what to say and I am saying what I want to say, and there is a gap. The wider the gap, more is the absence of fluency. Today we find it difficult to be fluent in English. Number one reason is we don't speak. I was not born knowing English. Even in my school, I did not speak in English. In my college, I could not speak in English. Even though I studied in Bangalore, but I could not speak very fluently. After I got the job, I was forced to learn because I was speaking with American customers, Australian customers, or European clients. I had to learn in a very, very tough situation. Otherwise, I would have lost my job. But I can speak 5 languages very fluently. Why? Why am I able to do that? The reason is because I am speaking with people. The more you speak, the more fluency that you grow. If you think that you cannot speak because you are not confident, I am sorry, you are just being a fool. You are not putting yourself under pressure. You know the words, you know the meaning, but if you practice, if you speak, you will gain the fluency. Now the problems that we face in terms of fluency, why fluency takes a big hit, why do we find it difficult to speak? There are 3 factors: fillers and foghorns, false start, pause and wrong pause. Now I will talk a bit about all of these. What do we mean by false start? I will take the middle one first. False start. Let's pay attention here. Say for example, you ask me to speak on a topic, and the topic is, I'm just thinking something which happened today. Okay, speak about the surgical attack the Indian Army did on LOC. What is your view on it? In case if somebody wants me to talk, so they ask me, what is your view or what is your opinion on India's response to the terrorism on line of control? So I'm going to start now. And I'm talking about false start. So how do I speak? I start. Well, I think India did a very good job. The Indian Army did the. I'm sorry. Okay, I think Indian Army did the right thing by taking action on. Just a minute. Okay, I think Indian Army took the right step by sending soldiers on across the. I want to start again. I think Indian Army did the right thing by sending soldiers across the border, because that part of the Kashmir is also India's land, but Pakistan has illegally occupied it, and the terrorists were coming from that particular area, and after they attacked all the soldiers in Pathankot and Uri, we had to respond. We always said that we will respond, but we never did. I am very happy and I am proud of Indian Army. The entire country supports the actions of Indian Army. Now what just happened? I spoke fluently and continuously for 30 seconds. But before that, thrice I started, then I stopped. I started, then I stopped. This is called a false start. If you have seen Olympics, all the athletes are waiting at the starting line. There is a person who holds a gun, he pulls the trigger and everybody starts running. Sometimes even before that sound, 1 or 2 runners they start. That's called a false start. False start usually happens when you have too many ideas in your mind and you're not able to organize it. Say for example, you go for an interview and the person asks you, why should we hire you? In case if you have lot of points in your head, you will have a false start problem. You will say, sir, you should hire me because I have scored 85%, and I'm sorry, sir, you should hire me because I am a very good candidate. So what's happening here? I'm looking here, I'm looking there, I don't know what to say, I'm confused because I entered the room with lot of preparation, but all these points are coming in at the same time. So I need to organize what I want to say. Sir, you should hire me because I'm a person with lot of dedication, I'm a person with confidence, I'm a person with aspiration. I want to start my career with a company which can give me the platform, which can give me the foundation to start my professional career. And I assure you, I will work hard, I am a quick learner, and I will give my best for the success of the team and the organization. So what did I do now? I organized what I want to say, and I am speaking in a very organized manner. So false start happens when you have more than one thought and you're finding it difficult to organize. Now these are the aspects, like I said, fillers and foghorns I'm talking about. Now what do we mean by fillers? Foghorns, pause, intonation. So I will speak about all these one by one. These are the factors which impacts your fluency. I am able to speak very fluently today in any topic that you give me. That is because I practiced a lot. I used to speak to everyone. I am making grammatical mistakes, I am making pronunciation mistakes, but in order to learn I need to practice more and more. So let's look at it one by one. 4 factors that I spoke about: fillers, foghorns, pause, intonation. I will speak about all of this in detail with lot of illustration, example. Intonation, I will also show you 1 or 2 sentences how to master intonation and how to make sense. So let's talk about fillers. Okay, what do we mean by fillers? Those who know what happens on a road during monsoon. So this is a surface of a road. Okay, so there is a car. When the car is going through this particular stretch, the car keeps going up and down. So municipality people come, they do what? They fill this. So all these portion is filled. So that's a filler. So using this example, I want to ask you. So filler basically means using certain words to fill the gap in a sentence, or in terms of fluency, or to bring in fluency. What are these fillers? The fillers can be a word like well, like, actually. These are the words. It could be sounds as well. For example, okay, that's a sound. Now let's pay attention. Fillers can be used in 2 ways. Way number 1, where the filler is enabling your fluency. Enabling the fluency means without that filler the fluency will not be there. For example, I have this particular object. Okay, so the battery inside is enabling the function of the phone, it's providing the power. So it's, if I remove the battery, the phone will not work. Don't worry, it's switched off already. Enabling means if it's not there, it will not work. What I'm trying to tell you is the filler can be used as an enabler or as an enhancer. Enhancer means make it better. For example, the same phone, we have a battery inside which is enabling the function, but I also have a cover. So this is the phone, this is the cover. What does the cover do? The cover enhances the safety of the phone. If I drop the phone, the corners will not get damaged because I have a cover. If I don't have the battery, the phone will not work. If I don't have the cover, the phone may get damaged, right? That's enhancer and enabler. In fillers, you should use fillers as an enhancer, not enabler. What do I mean by this? Say for example, I have this particular word which is well. It's a filler. I am going to use this particular word as an enabler, which means if it's not there, I cannot speak. Ask me any question, I am supposed to speak. Say for example, you ask me about the Indian Army action on line of control. So you ask me, so what do you think is it the right thing, wrong thing, and now I am supposed to speak. Jam session, okay. So I start. Well, I think now what I am going to do is I am going to use well like actually all of them together, okay, and I am using that as an enabler. Enabler means if I don't use it, I will not be able to speak. So now I am using it as an enabler. So sir, what do you think about the Indian Army action? Well, I think what the army did was the right thing, because actually it's a Pakistan side. There were a lot of terrorists and infiltrators who were coming and they attacked our army people, and the decision by the government of India and the courage by the soldiers is actually very good. Like we also have to take action, you know, like when we see something is not going right, so like we also have to take action. So that is my reaction. So what happened just now? Do you think my audience will be interested listening to me if I speak like this? I am using all these words and the sounds so much in a sentence that people will lose focus on what we are saying. Now as an enhancer, I am going to use the same words as an enhancer, which will enhance my fluency. Enhancer means when you don't get words, you quickly use that. For example, I am supposed to say a sellotape, I am supposed to cut it. If I don't have it, what do? I use my teeth or use a pen, I make a hole and the sellotape I can cut it into different portions, which means I quickly use one or two of these words and continue with my speech. So the same speech I am going to give, the last example you saw, I am using it as an enabler where my audience will be bored, they will not be interested. This time I will use it as an enhancer. Same topic, same person, but the usage is different. So what do you think about Indian Army, what they did? Well, I think that was a very brave decision, and this decision was long overdue. Whatever Pakistan side, whatever we saw actually what exactly happened is, few months ago we had the Pathankot attack. We also had the attack in Uri. So when things like this happens again and again, the dialogues don't really work anymore. So what we need to do? We need to show courage. We need to show that we also have the power. For example, we recently saw, now what happened? I said we recently saw. In the first example, I am using basically means I am confused. What I think Indian Army, it means I am confused. I am not very sure. In the second example, I am using the same sound but I am using it to emphasize on something. Like what did I say? India also took certain actions. Say for example, we had dialogues with the Pakistani army. Now I am using the same in two different scenarios. So one is enhancing it and the second one is enabling it. Alright. So that's fillers. What you are supposed to do is You are supposed to use fillers to enhance your fluency, not use these fillers which will enable your fluency. Clear? The second aspect I want to talk about is foghorns. So what do we mean by foghorns? Can somebody guess what foghorn is? I will keep the slide on so that you can quickly understand what is a foghorn. Try to differentiate or try to divide the word fog and horn. Please keep the slide for the students. Let them think what foghorn is. Did somebody guess what is a foghorn? Okay, let's look at the board now. This is a ship. I know I am not good in drawing, but I am just trying to help you understand. This is a ship. So when the ship is in the dock, when the ships leave the dock during winter season, what happens is they use a horn. So foghorn is a combination of two words. One is fog and the second one is horn. In the dock, these big ships, they use the horn so that they can tell the other ship, please move away, I am coming. Or when they are coming to the dock, they use the horn to tell the dock manager, yes, I am ready, please take me inside. So foghorn is a combination of two words. Fog means in winter season you see a lot of mist, you can't see clearly. So that's a fog. So horns are used during the foggy time. Now why am I using foghorn in terms of fluency? Foghorns are the sounds which we use when we speak as a filler. Okay. Now the ship uses these horns like that's a sound, and these are low frequency sound. As human beings, men and women, they have different frequency of voice. Men have low frequency, women have high frequency sound, right? Foghorns are always low frequency. The ships, they use a low frequency like that's how the horn of the ship is. The reason we use the term foghorn in terms of fluency and filler is when we speak, regardless men or women, when fillers and foghorns are used, they are low frequency. Say for example, I say, I think the action of Indian Army should be appreciated. We support whatever Indian Army did, and the reason I think so is because when Pakistan attacks, now what did I do? I say think because when Pakistan attacks, that is low frequency. Imagine if I use the same in high frequency, how will it sound? The same sentence I am going to speak where the is high frequency. I think the actions of Indian Army should be appreciated. We all should support the actions of Indian Army. The reason I say that is because whatever Indian Army did, now this is sounding so funny, right? That sound is high frequency, but actually it should be low frequency. That's why I give the example of ships. They use the horn in the low frequency, and the sounds that we use, okay, all this is a low frequency sound. If you keep on using the sound or these it will basically mean you lack confidence and you are nervous. Say for example, in the interview they ask you, so why do you want to work for A.P.S.S.D.C, and you are not prepared, you are nervous and you are not very sure what to answer, and then you end up saying that is because Infosys is a good company and I'm a good candidate, so I'm using so much that the person will lose interest. They will not be interested in listening to me anymore. Okay, so you need to use it only where it's required to gather thoughts what you want to say. Number 3 is pause. Now the pause can be used at the right time, at the right place. people have certain tendencies of using pause at the wrong place. Okay. Now, what do we mean by pause? Pause means we take a quick break, 1 second or half a second, and then we continue what we are speaking. Say for example, if you ask me, are you happy with the way the training is going on? And I say yes, of course. Even though I do not have the opportunity of speaking to the students on regular basis, the reason I use the word speaking is because we don't have a two-way communication. I don't know what questions you guys are asking. Now, despite of that particular lack of interaction, I think it's a good thing. Now, if I have to pause in between, how will it sound? So, what is your opinion about the students? My opinion is good. Even though I am not able to ask any questions where I am getting answers, but still I feel this training will help the students. Now, what happened? I am pausing after every word, or I am pausing after every 2-3 words. When I talk like this, my audience will fall asleep. They will not be interested anymore. So, I should not be pausing so much, but I should pause when I want to emphasize on something, or when I want my audience to think what I am going to say next. For example, in order to be a better communicator, number one, you need to learn a bit. A good training will obviously help you, but the most important aspect in order to be a good communicator is to practice. Now, what did I do? I said the most important factor is, then I paused. To practice, because I am emphasizing on practice. The pause should not be used to create excitement in your audience, and the excitement is like it leads to nothing. Like you would watch a lot of reality shows, singing shows, dancing shows. I keep seeing it on TV whenever I find time. So they have 3-4 participants, and the host comes and says, very good performance by all the participants today. The last participant, please come forward. Mr. Vijay, please come forward. You sang very well today. We really like you. You come from a very different background, and we know this is your dream. And I got the results from the judges, and the result is, and they show a zoom in, zoom out on the face of the participant, zoom in, zoom out on the judge, zoom in, zoom out on the anchor. There is some very dramatic music going on in the background, like a Bahubali music, and we are all thinking, oh my God, is he going to qualify to the next round or not? And suddenly there is a break, close up, Pepsodent and all that. After that they come back, everybody claps, the anchor says, so the results are there with me, and what do you think, Mr. Vijay, have you qualified for the next round or not? Are you going to get eliminated? Again there is a 2-second pause, and then they say, congratulations, nobody is getting eliminated today. So the decision is nobody is getting eliminated, but it took 15 minutes for them to tell you. Such a long gap. When the gap goes up and up, your audience, whoever you are speaking to, will lose interest. They will no longer be interested in what you are saying. That's why pause should be used at the right time, at the right place, and to convey a meaning where you are emphasizing on it. Clear? So fillers, foghorns, pause. And the last aspect which influences intonation is, the last factor is intonation, which impacts fluency. What do you mean by intonation? In speech, intonation is the use of changing vocal pitch, that is rising or falling, to convey grammatical information or personal attitude. Please pause this presentation so that the students can just write down. In speech, intonation is the use of changing vocal pitch, rise and falling, or the rising and the falling, or rise or fall, to convey grammatical information or personal attitude. That is what intonation means. Alright, I hope you have taken this down. Let's look at an example. What do we mean by this? So we have either falling intonation or rising intonation. So what do we mean by falling intonation? When you have a question, say for example, where is the nearest post office? So I am emphasizing on the word post. So when I am speaking, my tone is rising for the word post. Where is the nearest post office? Do you know where the post office is? So for is, my tone is going up. May I know what is your name? What is your name? When I say what is your name, my tone is high on what is, and for the name it comes down. So a falling intonation is where it's just going down. For example, the second one, what time does the film finish? What time does the film finish? So finish, it's coming down. Third one, I think we are completely lost. So I'm emphasizing on lost. I think we are completely lost. Number 4, okay, here is the magazine you wanted. Here is the magazine you wanted. Do you need the magazine? So when I say do you need the magazine, it's a rising tone. Here I am talking about a falling tone. We also have example for the rising tone, rising intonation. For example, I hear the health center is expanding. So is that the new doctor? Or I hear the health center is expanding. So is that the new doctor? Is he the new doctor? So I am just going up because I mean it's a question. Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Are you interested? My tone is going up. So this is falling and rising intonation. Now when we talk about intonation, there is one thing very, very important I want to talk about, and I see this as a problem in 99% of the people. What am I talking about? I am talking about a series, and this is about intonation in terms of series. Let's have the board on the screen, please. When I am talking about a series of numbers, say for example I am speaking about numbers only, say 2, 4, 9, 7, 6, C. Somebody asks me, sir, can you please give me the reference number? And I say, okay, 24976C. Now what is the intonation? 24976C. For the last particular unit, people usually have the habit of dropping the tone. It just goes down. Here it remains flat. For the last one, it goes down. Is there a problem with that? Of course there is a problem with that. What usually happens when we speak, when we are asking for a number, we ask for the phone number, right? When we drop the tone on the last one, it's not clearly audible. It always happens. That's why you should keep it flat so that it's understandable. For example, if somebody says, somebody asks what is your phone number, people usually say the number is 6527-2818, and the last one 2818. That last one is never audible clearly. People find it difficult to catch the last digit or the last letter. So how do we improve it so that the person who is hearing is not misinterpreting or misunderstanding? So let's look at the series again. So when we have the series, when we go to the second last, we should always pause. When we pause, that means there is another information coming. For example, so the number is 24 24,976, and when you say 6, the tone should go up and there should be a pause. 24,976 C, 24,976 C, which means I am rising and on the same tone I am giving the last information. When do we have the training of this week? When shall we have the meeting? So we will have this meeting for Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. Now that I am using the word and, that means you know there is another unit coming in. But when it's a series, you will not use and. It just goes on and on. Alphanumeric number or numeric number. What's your phone number? Then my number is 96275 58234. When I say 58234, 97285 58234. Now that is not my number. Please don't take it down and start dialing that number. That's not my number. So it makes you a better communicator when the other person need not ask you to repeat. So can you please repeat what he just said? The one important aspect why somebody will not ask you to repeat is ROS. What do we mean by ROS? Can somebody guess what is ROS? Unfortunately, it's not a classroom where I can ask you directly. Can somebody guess what is ROS? ROS means rate of speech. An average human being can speak and understand at the rate of 120 to 130 words per minute. The way I am speaking right now, it's on an average 120 to 130, 135 words per minute. That's why you are able to understand. But if I speak very fast, what happens is you will not be able to understand what exactly I am saying. Even though I am trying to speak very fast, my pronunciation will go for a toss, my grammar will be going for a toss, and you will not be able to understand what I am saying. Now, how many of you understand what exactly I said? If my rate of speech goes up, people will not be able to understand and respond. At the same time, if my rate of speech goes very low, if I speak in a very low rate of speech, my audience will fall asleep and they will not be interested. If I speak like this, nobody will watch or listen. So I need to bring my rate of speech to an average 120 to 130. The rate at which I am speaking right now will determine my confidence level, my knowledge level as well, how much I know and how confidently I am speaking to all of you. So when we talk about numbers or units, intonation plays a very, very major role, and so does rate of speech. All right. So what did we learn today? Number one, we did a recap on what companies are coming to hire. Once again, I want to emphasize BCom and BA students, you will also have drives that will happen in your college and in your city and town. These trainings will help you make yourself better and prepare. For BSc students, you saw those companies which is coming in. That's the information for you. And in terms of learning, we did a practice session, a little more practice session on vocabulary, where we learnt antonyms and synonyms, that is opposite words and similar words. We did a little more practice and we learnt the most important aspect in terms of the fourth most important aspect in terms of communication pillar, which is fluency. Okay. In fluency, we learnt fillers, foghorns, and we also learnt pause, false start, intonation and rate of speech. Now that you know everything, it's like you go to a shop, you buy biryani, but you need to eat it, right? So you need to speak, you need to practice. Don't hesitate. If you make mistake, perfectly fine. I would say please make mistakes and learn. Only then you can learn better. So if you make mistakes, don't hesitate. But practice, speak to your classmates, speak to your friends, speak to your faculty members. They will the teaching staff, they'll be very happy if you're putting efforts. You learnt all the ways of communication. Now practice and practice more. Tomorrow we will look a bit at writing skills. I will talk about writing, but before that I will emphasize a bit on speaking again in terms of structure, in terms of flow, and we'll do a quick practice session, and then we'll look at writing. From writing we'll talk about essay writing, and we'll also talk about email writing. Alright, thank you so much for your time yet again. I hope the session was helpful, and please do comment on the YouTube channel, the page, whichever training you saw. If you have questions, please post your comment. I will promptly get the information and I will respond. I have already responded to all the questions that were posted on YouTube, so feel free to post those questions. So go back, please practice. Tomorrow morning 9 to 11 you will have your aptitude session, and we will inform you about the technical session as well. Thank you so much for the wonderful audience. I will see you soon. All the best.